Say what?
Hello and welcome back. It's time for Say What, where we hear from those connected to the industry about what's going on in our world of electrical apprenticeship. And this includes topics that you've suggested to us, so please keep those coming. I'm your host, Cindy Sandifer. We're going to mix things up just a little bit today. Since May is Mental Health Awareness Month, we wanted to share an episode of our series, It's Good to Talk, which focuses on the importance of taking care of ourselves and each other. And it really emphasizes that this is part of safety culture. In this episode, we're talking about deep core beliefs that shape how we see ourselves, how we respond to life, and it often forms early in and through our experiences. When those beliefs are negative, they can quietly drive our reactions, making small setbacks feel overwhelming. And the path to change is going to begin by us identifying and naming these beliefs, bringing them into the light, and then consistently acting against them. And then that way, over time, the actions that they create new evidence, and it helps us shift the narrative from self-doubt to confidence and resilience. So let's hear more about this with Dr. Charles and see what he has to say.
So let me ask you something. Have you ever had a thought about yourself that just wouldn't go away? Everybody has core beliefs. Deep ones, not just thoughts that pass through your head, but beliefs about who you are. Some are good. I can handle hard things. I figure stuff out. I'll get through it. But some are crippling to your well-being. I'm not good enough. I'm a failure. I always mess things up. I'll never measure up. And most of us didn't choose those. They were built inside of us early by criticism, by comparison, by being overlooked, by trying and not being seen. Sometimes due to poor parenting and by our community environment. And over time, you don't just think them, you believe the negative core beliefs, and your life is governed by them. That's why small things can hit so hard, and a single mistake can feel so big. Because it's not about the moment, it's about the core belief beneath the moment. It's like an iceberg. You only see what's above the surface, but the real weight and girth of it is beneath the surface. So how do you change something that is so strong and so powerful and so deeply buried within you and within who you are? In other words, what do we do with this? So here are 3 quick steps. Simple, not easy, but simple. So first of all, find it. Find the negative core belief and give it a name. When you feel a big reaction, ask yourself, what does that say about me? And keep asking that question. If that's true, what does that say about me? And you'll find it. I'm not good enough. I'm a failure. I'm failing. That's the core. You can't change what you won't name. Step 2, face up to it. Say it out loud. I believe I'm not good enough. Not because it's true, but because dragging it into the light weakens it. When you say it, you separate from it. You're not inside of it anymore. You are outside of it, looking at it. You are context and not content. That gives you power over it. You're not your thoughts. You decide which ones to believe or to dismiss. Step 3, fight it with action. Most people try to think their way out of negative core beliefs. But core beliefs don't change because you understand them. They change because you live in opposition to them. If your belief is, I'm not good enough, you must act like you are more than good enough. And you must act that way before you ever start to feel it. You have to learn to appreciate challenge much more than you appreciate comfort. The universe only rewards action. So you show up, you do the job, you finish the task, you speak up, and when you fall, you get back up. When you fail, you learn and try again. Not only when it feels right, but you do right until it feels right. Inside your brain, every time you act opposite of that old belief, you provide a new set of evidence. A new set of evidence for your case. Just like inside of a courtroom. That old belief, you're a failure, well, that's the prosecutor. He's loud. He's confident. He's been talking way too long. But every time you show up and do the work, you bring new evidence into the courtroom. You finished the job. You learned the new skill. You handled the problem. You did not quit. That's evidence in your favor against the negative core belief. And the jury, your brain, can't ignore such overwhelming evidence. Verdicts change when evidence changes. Not in one day, but over time. You just keep bringing in the proof. And one day, the brain's verdict will shift. It will shift from I'm not good enough to I can handle this. And once a person changes a negative belief, they often change the course of their life. Don't forget to remember, it's good to talk.
Dr. Charles, this part probably shouldn't be on the recording, so we'll see if this gets edited out. I'm trying to figure out how we bill this to insurance for me, like all of these It's Good to Talk episodes, because I really do feel like you've...
Let's work hard on that.
We're gonna work on that. That's for later, not for you all. All right, so you explained that our strongest reactions often come from deeply rooted core beliefs that are formed early in life. And it made me think, some of us had possibly what we would feel like great upbringings, very healthy home lives. Others may feel completely the opposite, but I'm assuming that you would agree that these deeply rooted core beliefs, negative or not, they're in all of us regardless of our experiences. Okay. So why do these hidden beliefs carry so much power over present day me, the thoughts and behaviors that I experience? How can someone, I guess, first of all, why do they have such power over the present day thoughts and beliefs and behaviors? And then also, how can someone begin to recognize when a reaction is really coming from something deeper?
So it's because of the power of emotion.
Aha.
The emotional brain usually fires first.
Okay.
Usually fires off first. And then the logic is always trying to catch up to it. The emotional part of your brain the limbic system is where that's housed. The logical side, the frontal lobe, the prefrontal cortex is always trying to catch up to that. And core beliefs reside in the emotional part of your brain. That's where they are. And so when they chime in, it's usually over the top. That's one way that you can tell. When they start to chime in, it's usually over the top. It's oh, what am I? Just chopped liver? It's over the top, stretching it. Or a lot of times it's exaggerated, or it's all or nothing thinking.
Mm-hmm.
I'm never gonna be able to do this, or I always seem to do that. That's a strong clue that something's going on within your core belief system that's causing you to feel that way. But it generally comes out in some strong emotion. The core belief is I'm not good enough. The core belief is I'm a failure. But you're voicing it with I'm not. Why in the world can I never do that? I never can seem to do that. That's what's coming out of your mouth, because that's coming out of your emotion. I remember first hearing about Elizabeth Kubler-Ross, who gave to us some valuable information, in the 5 stages of grief. And the 5 stages of grief, they begin with denial and they end with acceptance, but they begin with denial. I had a situation that I just not too long ago heard about. And when I heard about it, it was a friend of mine, it was another friend of mine telling me about what happened to this friend. And my response was, oh, no way that happened. And it was tough. No way that happened. That's denial, coming out of emotion, coming out of some core belief that I would have that says that kind of tragedy is difficult and should never happen.
Right.
So it's the emotion. It's the emotion. That's what makes it overwhelming and so powerful. That's why you want to live in the here and now. You want to live right in the here and now, and not so much in thinking about all of the past stuff, because the only way to really deal with a core belief is you can't deal with it in the past. You got to bring it into the present and deal with it.
And I something that to me that's really important as you were talking about that is we all have this. And I don't do this to, I think it's important to recognize, I don't like normal, so typical, right? These are typical human things. And I think the emotions, we get into this, well, I'm an emotional person. Well, I'm a logical person. And it's like, we're all a little of both. Now we might lean, or we might have grown in certain maturity, that we handle things differently, but it's like, we all jump to that emotional response first. Is that what I'm hearing?
For sure.
Okay.
For sure.
Okay.
We all jump there. But even if someone with straight up logic, like Dr. Spock or somebody, if that would be a problem. That would be a problem. But the bottom line is, we have an emotional mind, we have a logical mind, and both of them are valuable, and we need them to move us to the wise mind. We want to operate in the wise mind. That's the balance between the two. So you don't let emotions overwhelm you. You don't let too much logic overwhelm you.
Yes.
You figure out what parts of the logic, what parts of the emotion are prevalent. What should I be applying here, and move to wise thinking.
Right. And because this is my therapy session, I was thinking how this helps me with other people. I mean, it needs to help me with me. We're dealing with that first. I get it. But, understanding the emotional brain starts working first. So when maybe someone responds or reacts to me a certain way, it's like, well, I do this too. We all deal with it. It kind of maybe can help us be a little more patient or offer a little more grace. Ideally. Sorry.
Yes, that is wonderful if we can achieve that, and we should all be striving to do that.
Yeah.
It really should make it easy.
Yeah.
It should make being patient with people who cut you off easier too.
No, Never mind. Let's go to, sorry, the next question. All this challenging. It's so true, though. Really, it does. Yeah, it should. All right. So you described something that I enjoyed, the process of naming and facing, which, I can be a coward as much as the best of us, right? But it's, this idea of, okay, I need to name and I need to face this negative core belief as a first step, right, toward my change. And so why is it so important to say these beliefs out loud? And then how does that help someone begin to separate who they are from what they've been telling themselves, potentially for a very long time?
Good question. So if you cover your eyes, if you take your hand and try to cover your eyes, and get your hand as close to your eyes as you can without shutting your eyes, and then I asked you, what do you see? You probably would say nothing. I can't see anything because it's too close. And not only would you not see anything, but if I asked you to try to describe specific things about it, you tell me about the lines that are there or whatever, you couldn't do it because you really couldn't see it. And naming the core belief kind of puts it at a distance so that you can really observe this. You're putting yourself outside of it. Where we get messed up is we always see ourselves as being our thoughts. We're not our thoughts. You can literally get outside of that, and when you get outside of that and look at, when you name it and say what it is, you immediately weaken it. It goes from controlling you to you controlling it. You literally can move back from it once you name it, and once you label it, it literally weakens it enough that you now can do something about it. You can say, if it says I'm not good enough, you can in return say I'm more than good enough. I'm better than you think, because now it's literally like you're talking to something or someone that's outside of you. Right. If it's on the inside of you, then it's very difficult for you to speak that way. So once you name it and say what it is, call it what it is, then you move from content to context. It's always better to be outside of it. That's what's called psychological flexibility is the term for that, to where I'm being psychologically flexible now, because rather than being governed by this stuff, I can move back and I can make some decisions about it.
Yeah, and separating it from you. I had a friend was battling cancer and named the tumor so that it wasn't, it didn't feel like maybe necessarily a part of her. Yeah. And she used a song that, so she called it Earl. And there was a song at the time, Earl Had to Die. And so it was, or Earl Has to Die, I can't remember. But the point being, like, she was able to use that. Yeah. And I think, and her support system did the same. And I was just thinking, so like, I could name mine Gloria and be like, no, Gloria, I am good. I mean, is it like, I know that sounds weird, but like to name it and be able to talk to it like, no, you're wrong.
Yeah,
like,
that's good. As long as you don't have any friends named Gloria.
I was really working hard on that because I was thinking, do I know someone? And then I don't think I have anyone close to me. I hope not. If not, Gloria, I'm super sorry. Yeah. Okay. So being able to make that separation.
It does. It works wonders. It really does, because when you feel like you are something, then you're controlled by it. I am this, versus as this is something that's outside of me and I can do something about it. I can understand it. I can plan strategies for it. It makes a difference.
Right, that I can make a change. I have the ability to change this. This is within my control.
Exactly.
Yeah. Okay, so we have to remember that thinking alone isn't enough. You talked about that. Thinking alone is not enough. It requires this action from us. We've got to do right until it feels right and act against that negative belief. So we have to go completely against what it is that we've been potentially telling ourselves, and then allow that evidence
to speak for us. Like, no, I did this. I was able to, I made it through the day. Sometimes that's our accomplishment.
Absolutely.
Like, I made it.
Absolutely.
And tell yourself and celebrate that.
Absolutely. Celebrate it. I'm glad you said that. That's so important.
Yeah.
So important. Celebrate any and every win that you have.
All right. That's it. All right, everyone, make sure to celebrate. And don't forget to remember, it's good to talk.
Okay, so I hope you're feeling encouraged and challenged, and also feeling a bit of control. Like, I can do this. There are actionable things that I can do to help make myself better, healthier, safer. Thank you, Dr. Charles. Huge thanks to you for all that you do for us, for our industry. Your commitment to our mental health is a commitment to our industry's safety, and we absolutely appreciate you and you doing that. Big thanks to you, the listeners, for taking time to join us. Remember that we do want to hear from you. So if there are topics you would like us to cover, if you'd like to be a guest, send me an email to saywhat, SAYWATT, at electricaltrainingalliance.org. Until we see you again, stay connected with us through our newsletters, blog posts. Be sure to follow us on social media, subscribe to the podcast, go ahead and tell someone about it. Stay powered up, and we will see you next time.
Say